What's going on, family?
Hi.
In today's video, we want to discuss a subject that a lot of people have been requesting. What do you do as a teenager when so many people around you are dating or getting into relationships? Or even in the truth, a lot of young ones are getting married so young. Nothing wrong with that, but what do you do if you're only 15, 14, 13? You know, at a young age, so many people have that desire. Hey, I want to get married. I want a husband. I want a wife.
So this episode is going to be dedicated to the teenagers.
To the teenagers out there.
Thanks for watching us.
Right. And just because you're not a teenager, you can continue to watch this video.
It's good for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, we're going to start off by just asking my wife, what helped you to wait until, your mid-20s in order to get married?
It's funny that he's asking me because he couldn't wait.
I didn't wait. So my wife would be a good person to ask.
The number one thing I would tell the teenagers is not to stress about that and not to feel like you're being left out of something that's so great.
Right.
I just feel like for me, I just felt like it wasn't the right time for me. I was so young. Like every year, I think you change what you think that you want in someone, and you're changing you're just changing completely. So I feel like I just felt like there was no need to stress about it. It wasn't my time.
Because when you were 13, 14, you were like, oh, I want Prince Charming.
No.
To be...
I never felt like I was like missing out on anything. I felt like I personally felt like everyone was.
But when you've seen kids in school that were in relationships, kids in school that were holding hands, and this is something that we know, happens from age like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, where you see your kids dating and your friends dating, and not necessarily friends, but classmates dating. How do you, even though you want that, how do you resist from dating somebody in school, or, perhaps dating somebody so young in the congregation secretly, or, maybe engaging in that kind of activity? How did you just resist from engaging in that? Because we know that's something that's so normal for so many people.
Yeah, it is normal, but I just felt like deep down inside, I felt like, my time was going to come when it was right.
Right.
And that Jehovah was going to put that right person in front of me.
Right.
That I was going to be able to date when the time was right.
Right.
Yes, you do want that because you see other teenagers that are like holding hands and kissing and doing that. But you're really not missing out on anything. I feel like when you're ready to date, that right person's going to come to your life, and it's better when it's someone in Jehovah's organization because they have the same beliefs as you do.
Right.
But I just always felt like, I'm gonna do what Jehovah, tells me to do, and I'm gonna try to stick to that.
Right, no matter
and
what.
Everything's gonna work out the way it should.
Right.
I know not everybody feels that way. Some people feel really pressured. Like my younger sister, she always felt like, I can't even go to school because there's too many temptations.
Right.
And I was always like, just say no. I'm always that type of person, like, just say no. If somebody asks you want to date them, no. I don't date anyone that's not, Jehovah's Witness, or, I'm too young for that. I believe that it's not my time yet, or whatever it is. And she's like, no, I can't. I feel too tempted,
Right.
And some teenagers, they decide to, get homeschooled and stuff. That personally wasn't for me. I just felt like if you put yourself in a circle and you're homeschooled and you're not surrounded by people that are from the world, and that you're gonna be pressured.
We know that a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses do end up getting homeschooled.
Yeah, and that's fine.
And this is one of the reasons, because of the peer pressure that you have to deal with in school. Not just to do drugs, but also to date.
That's fine, but to me, I always felt like when I go to work, I'm gonna be pressured either way. I'm not gonna work while Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't have the privilege,
because
to
you
work
get that
while
pressure
witnesses.
even out of school, right?
Right. Even when you're married, you get that pressure too from other people.
Yep.
So either way, I'm gonna have to deal with it. So that's something that really my sister was tempted with that. Yes, she ended up getting married a little bit younger. But everyone.
She was able to make it through it as well.
Right. Yeah. So it's just I believe don't feel pressure to do what everyone else is doing. Remember that every single time that you see something on Instagram, or you see someone in school, a couple that's walking around and hugging and kissing and holding hands, it's all appearances a lot of times.
Right.
It's not really what they're going through. People just want to appear like everything's fine and everything's good.
And here's some things to think about is if you're a young teenager and you're going through high school, or even just middle school, whatever age, you are, or whatever age your kids are, or whoever's watching this, if you're dealing with that and you're like, hey, how do I deal with the peer pressure? I'm looking at my friends and I'm jealous. They, the way this guy, interacted with me, he was so flirtatious and he's a worldly kid, but, now I grew emotions for him because now I'm doing a school project, or whatever the case may be. You have to keep in mind, whoever they're dating, there's going to be repercussions for every decision that all of these so-called, associates and classmates and friends make when they're so young. If you're 13, 14, 15, look at all the TV shows where little girls are
teen moms
13 and pregnant, right?
Yes.
14 and pregnant, 16 and pregnant. Now they have to worry about raising a child while they're in school. Do you want that on your shoulders? I can guarantee you don't, especially not at that age. Think about all of the different diseases that get passed around because you're engaging with these kind of kids at that age. And just from sexual intercourse, from doing things that you shouldn't be doing with these kids. You're not married, and then because of that, now you're throwing away a precious gift that Jehovah gave you to experience the first time with the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, your husband or your wife. Don't throw that away to some other teenager in high school. It's just not worth it. And then the other thing, think about all the terrible friendships that are ruined because people are in relationships with each other, right? So if you're trying to date a brother and sister inside of your congregation and you're only 13, 14, 15, and you're super young, now you're doing it in secrecy. Now you're doing something behind Jehovah's back, behind the elders' back, probably behind your parents' back, and eventually the truth always comes out, right? Yeah, they go through your phone, they see a selfie with them, you're doing face filters, you're always hanging out with them. Eventually the truth will come out. And now what does that do to your friendship, your relationship with that brother or sister in your congregation? Oh, well, hey, you can't hang out with him anymore. You're not allowed to hang out with her anymore because you guys got intimate to whatever level. And maybe you didn't do anything extreme, but now because you were, secretly dating, that's going to ruin it as well. So you don't want to engage in that just because you feel, oh, I can't wait.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to date and wanting to know someone.
Right.
Maybe if you're open to your parents about it, they'll be like, yeah, it's fine. You can get to know this person.
Right.
You're not in a serious relationship, but you get to know what kind of person do you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Right.
It's fine with getting to know people.
Right.
Getting to know the other person. But if you're open with your parents, you're better off. But I just want to let you guys know that it's better to wait for the right person and figure out who you are first.
Right.
Because at 13, 14, you don't know who you are. I don't think you do. I didn't know who I was.
15, 16.
What I liked at 14, 15, I did not like when I was 21.
Right.
I can tell you that for sure. And whatever
You're
I
changing
saw
all the time. Even today, a year ago from today, I wouldn't even recognize who I am. We're constantly growing, especially in the truth.
So just don't think that you're missing out on anything.
Right.
Just take your time, enjoy your teens, enjoy your time being a teenager, because sometimes you get married at 19 and you're like, wow, I didn't do anything with my life. The first guy I dated, I married. Now I have kids. I didn't do anything. Like, I'm 20 something.
Perhaps
and
you want to
I have 5
experience
kids.
things while you're single.
I didn't get to travel. I didn't
Right.
get to pioneer. I didn't get to do a lot of things that I could have done because you didn't slow down and you didn't think, let me enjoy my teenager years. Let me dedicate some time to Jehovah. When I'm married, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna dedicate this time.
Before you even take the time to get to know other people, you have so many years from ages, from being a little kid, all of your teenage years to get to know who? Not your parents, not your mom. You get to know Jehovah, and you get to know yourself.
Yes.
You get to know yourself, and you're constantly studying who you are, what you want, who you want to become, what your future looks like, what your 20-year plan looks like. We all want paradise to come tomorrow, but if it doesn't, what are you setting yourself up for?
It's crazy because I thought, once I was married, we've been married for 2 years, and I knew who I was, but till this day, I'm changing. Like, I'm a different person in a good way. I'm growing, Like, so like what you think you are, that might not be who you are later on. So just take your time. There's no rush. There's no rush. The person that is meant to be in your life is gonna be there, and you're gonna love that person whenever the time is right. But there's no rush. Don't feel like you're missing out on anything. You're not.
Because if you settle at such a young age, I can guarantee at some point throughout your marriage, if you got married at 16, 17, 18, you know, perhaps, you know, some people that worked out for, but some people it doesn't. And maybe you're one of the cases where it didn't work out, but you can't change that. If you get married and you're in the truth and you're a baptized sister, you're a baptized brother, and you're watching this, so that's one of your goals, you want to get baptized, and then you get baptized and you're like, I just can't wait, I'm seeing all my friends, I gotta get married. So you find the first sister, the first brother that looks your way, and then you marry them, and then you realize after you get married, well, I just married this person because I was just really attracted, or because I didn't want to be alone anymore. I wanted a spouse, and now you regret your decision, but you're stuck with them for the rest of your life. There is no, I'm just gonna get a divorce.
You're like, oh, this is my life now?
Right.
Right.
Because that's serious.
Just taking your time and get to know yourself and Jehovah.
Or you settle for somebody who you shouldn't have settled for.
Just enjoy being young and doing things, you know, single. That's so nice to be able to be like, I traveled, I went to a convention international with other brothers.
I'm not saying you can't do this stuff while you're married, but it's a lot harder.
You can, but it's different because now it's two of you guys. And now if you're the wife, you have to look to your husband to make those decisions, whether he wants them or not. And then sometimes you don't get to know that person well
enough. And all of your friendships, they're all cut off. So like, not like, you know, all of them, but I mean like all your girlfriends, if you're a girl, all of the sisters that you're best friends with, that you hang out with, that you talk to on the phone and all this kind of stuff.
It's not cut off, but it's
not
the
cut
same
off, but it's like to a minimum, right? There's no like, I'm gonna go out for ladies' night every night. I'm gonna go out every weekend. I'm gonna go do this. And the same thing for the guys. You can't just go out with the guys whenever you want. You can't just go on a guys trip and go travel with just guys all the time. You can still do those things, but it's so minimum. Because now your best friend, your main priority is your wife, no longer anybody else.
So the whole point of our videos to teenagers and forever, anyone who's watching and is probably single or whatever it is, just wait. Get to know yourself before you actually get to know someone else. Get to know what you want. Get to know Jehovah. And just enjoy those years.
Your teens.
There's no rush. You're not missing out on anything. Yes, so
because
just enjoy it.
If you get desperate while you're young, I can promise you that in some way, shape, or form, you'll feel that, what if I waited? You'll have that regret, and that question will run with you and stick with you for the rest of your life. What if I waited to my mid-20s? What if I waited till I was 30? What if I waited till I was 21? You know, what if I waited? What if I didn't get married? You know, perhaps you have a child at 16. Perhaps you get married at 16 to a brother or sister of the truth, or somebody in the male or female in the world. And now you're thinking about that your whole life. What if I didn't make that mistake? What if I didn't get married so young? You know, don't waste it. We're not saying, you know, either way is right or wrong, but from our personal preference, we would definitely encourage you, just wait. When you see all those other people, how do you not envy them? You don't envy them because you don't have the stress. Every relationship comes with stress.
And instead of focusing
on... You don't have that stress on your life. You just have the stress of what you're only dealing with, not the stress of another body.
And instead of focusing on what other teenagers are doing in your school, whether they're not witnesses, because there are witnesses that do have girlfriend and boyfriends in school, and you know of it, and you want to do the same thing they're doing because they're witnesses, I can do it too. Don't focus on that. Focus on your relationship with Jehovah. Again, try to pioneer. Try to hang out with the sisters that pioneer. Try to do spiritual things that will make you not focus on that. Whatever you focus on, that's where your attention's going to go to, and that's what you're going to constantly keep thinking about. Just don't think about that.
Yeah, enjoy those single years. And being single is also awesome, especially in the truth. You have so many opportunities in front of you that you can't do while you're married. You can't serve with Bethel while you're married like that. You have to wait till you get years under your belt. Because there's so many problems in a marriage, which is why we're so dedicated to this channel to help a lot of married couples as one of our main subjects. But if you're waiting, you know, just continue to wait. Hopefully this was encouraging to you, to all the teens out there. Hopefully we delivered some value to you guys. And if we did it, and you're like, I still want more questions, just let us know, write it in the comments below. Be sure to like this video. If you haven't already done so, please, family, subscribe and comment below. You know, did this help you?
And
if you're a teen.
share with teenagers, share with anybody that you think that might appreciate this video.
Yep.
We love you guys. Thank you so much for watching.
All right, family.
Take care.